Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to another Arena Direct. This is another Duskmourn Arena Direct, but we get to draft this time around, which is super sweet. Very excited about that, because I think these Arena Direct events are already cool, being able to play some digital Magic and win paper Magic the Gathering prizes, but being able to do that in draft instead of sealed, that's particularly sick, because draft is my favorite format. So without further ado, let's just hop into this Duskmourn House of Horror Best of One draft and see where the cards take us today. Alright, here we are for our pack 1 pick 1, and this pack is honestly absurd. We have Chainsaw for a 2-for-1 removal spell. It's removal plus an equipment that's going to buff your creature for the rest of the game. Sheltered by Ghosts for a 2-for-1 removal spell. It is removal plus buffs your creature for a while. Whenever they kill that creature, though, they do get the card back, but this card is still really absurd. It can win the early game so often because of that Ward 2. It's super hard to kill the card that has Sheltered by Ghosts on it super early in the game. So this leads to like super big blowouts, especially when you throw it on a flyer like Fear of Isolation. So Sheltered might honestly be a little better than Chainsaw even. These two are definitely the top two cards in the pack. They're both absurd removal spells that work as a 2-for-1 as well. But there's other great cards as well, other just sweet removal, and of course Fear of Isolation being good, but yeah, these two are just ridiculous. I'm just gonna go for the Chainsaw here. It's better in the long game. Sheltered by Ghost is better in the opening hand. It's like, I don't know, it's harder to beat, more of a blowout in the opening hand, but Chainsaw over the course of the long game becomes more powerful. Like, against the cheap, efficient removal spell that can kill whatever you put the Sheltered on, Chainsaw's the much better play because it's an equipment instead of an aura, so you get to keep re-equipping it. But again, I think Sheltered by Ghosts might be a little better, but they're both insanely close. They're both insanely busted. Pick 2, this pack's really weak. Not very happy to see this as a pick 2. The best card is Inquisitive Glimmer by quite a bit, so had we taken Sheltered by Ghosts, we'd be on to blue-white here, so that's certainly a bummer. Instead, off of Chainsaw, we take a mediocre black removal spell like Final Vengeance. Just the green card to break down the door. I mean, Glimmer's probably just the strongest card by enough that we still have to take it, even though we didn't take the white card. No, man. Oh, that's how draft goes sometimes, isn't it? Inquisitive Glimmer into Optimistic Scavenger, Sheltered by Ghosts would have been the perfect pack 1 pick 1. But if I took Sheltered by Ghosts, the monkey's paw would curl, and then the pack 2, somebody would pass us the red Overlord for no reason. And all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, Gruul was the best deck because I drafted Sheltered by Ghosts. You never know. Alright, Shard Mage's Rescue is really good in a deck with cards like Optimistic Scavenger and Inquisitive Glimmer to protect with it that also care about Eerie triggers and enchantments in general. So I think this is pretty nice in blue-white. Much better in blue-white than Boros, where we had a copy yesterday and ended up cutting it. Pick 5. Good Gruul. Analyst is good in exactly green-blue and basically nowhere else. I could still take it as the best blue or white card in the pack, but I think Beatdown is strong enough here to have Beatdown as another direction. Like, say, we've taken all these blue-white spells really highly here. We're only on pick 5 right now. So I imagine there's still a world where blue and white is just super cut from this point on, and maybe Gruul's a lot more open, and we have Beatdown and Chainsaw towards that. So I think power level-wise we can go for Beatdown here and have the blue-white direction or the Gruul direction at our disposal. Pick 6, looks like Glimmerlight is a really nice way to glue these two paths together. This will be a super solid card in either deck. Particularly good in blue-white, but still certainly playable in Gruul. This is good in any deck that's pretty aggressive, has a lot of creatures going for it, which is certainly Gruul, but definitely blue-white because it also cares about the enchantments. Pick 7. Alright, Meat Locker's certainly the best card here. Stuns things down, draws a bunch of cards in the late game. It's unlocking rooms for your Eerie triggers like Optimistic Scavenger. It's cheaper with the Inquisitive Glimmer. This looks really good for the blue-white build. Pick 8, Under the Skin, though. That's so much better than Goat, Don't Make a Sound, and Enter the Enigma. I mean, this is honestly pick 1-able. It's just really good graveyard recursion. 3 mana 2/2 plus pick up your best permanent from your grave to hand, plus because it's Manifest Red, it might be bigger than a 2/2 later, and it's milling at least one card alongside playing the 2/2 to give you something to maybe pick up with the Under the Skin. So, I mean, yeah, that card's absurd, and it's really good in Gruul. Gruul cares about that Delirium, as you can see on Beastie Beatdown. So, I guess, I mean, I thought off of the Meat Locker we were definitely blue-white, but then an Under the Skin that late, and I'm still not quite decided. We might have to decide off of some kind of pack 2, pick 1 rare, something like that. Apparition's pretty filler, even in the blue-white deck. I guess Underwhyme's Aquarium is probably fine for double Eerie triggers. I don't really like main deck Anthropede. This is a best of 1 event. Pretty late Moldering Gym and Weight Room. I like that if you randomly want to splash stuff in your green Delirium heavy decks. So that's nice towards the Gruul direction. Pick 11, Say Its Name is fine towards the Gruul direction. It tends to be more aggressive, so Say Its Name's a little worse in Gruul than it is in like Golgari, where you can fill up that grave really slowly over time, but should still be fine. Pick 12, these cards are unplayable. Pick 13, Analyst. Put our peanut butter with our jelly and decide that we're blue-green instead. If that card's going pick 13, maybe. But we open a second Chainsaw. What a draft to navigate, honestly. Blue-white, green-red, now green-blue looking good with how late Analyst went. But now we have 2 copies of Chainsaw towards red. I could go... I've got the Moldering Gym. I could do some kind of green-blue deck and splash in the red for double Chainsaw here. Yeah, this is a wild draft. This is one that would have been definitely a little disappointing whatever direction I went, because now that we just open a second Chainsaw, if I were blue-white this whole draft, and then I opened this, I'd be like, no, if I took Chainsaw pack 1, pick 1, I could have a double Chainsaw deck. This is wild. This is going to be interesting. I think we're probably leaning towards green-blue splashy. Slapping the Chainsaws in off of some Moldering Gym style fixing, or we can take the fine draw spell like Glimmer Burst. Cursed Windbreaker can be okay if we really care about manifesting, because we have like Paranormal Analyst here. It's pretty close. I guess the Windbreaker does have slightly better synergy. Could also take Drag to the Roots if I really want to splash. I'm splashing red and splashing black, and that seems a little bold though. We're way more likely to splash red right now than if I take this and I have 1 black card to splash. Lord have mercy, this format's insane. I say all that and then I get past Swarmweaver. Splashing everything? There's the splashing material, though, the Spineseeker Centipede to find that splash mana. I mean, take Centipede, make it pretty easy to splash the red is definitely the safest pick, but Swarmweaver is like straight up one of the strongest rares in the whole format. It's so hard to pass that here. I've got 3 red removal spells, none in green-blue though, so if I end up splashing black and not playing red, that's going to be really bad. So if I take Swarmweaver, I am committing to splashing 2 different colors. So we're going to have to do a lot of picks towards the splash if we can. Another Windbreaker. Oh, Terramorphic Expanse. I need to take picks towards the splash now really highly. Because again, I'm trying to get red in here and black in here. I need the red for the removal. And the black gives me the strongest card in our whole deck. Alright. Things gotta go well for us from this point on. We can basically not take a single pick that doesn't end up getting used in this deck. Bleeding Woods over Scorching Dragonfire. If I take all the fixing really, really highly, that hopefully opens us up to pack 3, just taking the best card off of every single pick. And I kind of already have 2 Dragonfire because I have 2 Chainsaw. It hurts, but I need the fixing so bad in this pile. No fixing in this pack. We've got a mediocre black removal spell, or Cryptid Inspector's a super filler green creature, but it works with the manifest synergy kind of strategy. Like it works with Paranormal Analyst and stuff. Okay, this is a 4-drop creature. These are 3-drop creatures. Okay, this is the creature curve. I have 6 creatures right now. I guess 1 6-drop creature as well. I do need some kind of filler creature. I guess I'll take Cryptid Inspector over the Survivor there. Pick 7. Ticket Booth is a manifest creature. This pack's pretty bad generally. I could play Bear Trap for filler removal that we can cast no matter what's happening with our mana, but I think it's still Ticket Booth. This is a wildly different deck from our first draft, I will tell you that. Our first was super streamlined, very focused 2 colors, and this is going to be a pile for sure. Lakeside Shack, sorry Twist Reality. Double blue is not going to be particularly easy for this deck to hit. Peculiar Lighthouse, let's go. Sorry Vanish, you're a fine removal spell, but that fixing is huge. There's Drag to the Roots, I'm already splashing black now. Here's the world we live in. Grab a Bear Trap now. No matter what's happening with our mana, we've got some mediocre removal. Another Underwater Tunnel Slime Aquarium, get another filler creature in here. We do not have an aggressive enough deck or a high creature count enough deck for turn Inside Out, but that is wildly late for that card. I think that card's actually quite nice. Chandelier, I don't randomly mill out, I guess. Probably end up cutting that. Mediocre pack 3 pick 1, but we can take Strangled Cemetery or Bashful Beastie. There's a Meat Locker Drown Diner as well. There's a lot of options here. Again, I'm going to go so high on the lands here. I'm taking Strangled Cemetery. Machete gives us a creature no matter what's happening with our mana. That seems fine. It's like a decent little value play. You get to keep the equipment around later. Threats around every corner looks really important for this deck. It's going to fix us and give us another Manifest Dread payoff. Seems huge. Glassworks and Monstrous Emergence in the same pack, though. Passing up 2 removal spells is rough. But I think this is kind of perfect for this kind of mush pile. Brood Spinner is generally really good, but black is like our lightest color, our splashiest of splashes. There's probably going to be 1 swamp in this deck, so this is going to be a really late game play. Never actually casting it for 2, and I really need more cheap ways to affect the board like Manifest Dread or Bottomless Pool. I think it has to be one of these 2 cards to not just get completely overrun by aggro every single time, so I'm taking Manifest Dread on that one. Here's more removal, another Drag to the Roots or a Monstrous Emergence. Emergence looks actually pretty bad in this deck because I have so many creatures that are technically enchantments, like rooms that manifest. So it's going to be hard to have any creatures in hand to use this and deal any amount of damage, so we kind of have to just go for the splash removal over that here. There's other good cards, Meat Locker, Bashful Beastie, be fine in here, but let's get that removal. Blue-Black Duel, or Wicker Folk Thresher, Monstrous Emergence. Again, I feel like Emergence is actually quite awkward for this deck. Which leaves me more inclined to take the Fixing or the Thresher. I might want Thresher here, honestly. I'm not doing insanely well on win conditions. It's a bunch of mediocre creatures and a bunch of chainsaws. Yeah. Let's get another beef stick in here. Oh, pick 7 Bookworm. Yes. Pick 8 Brood Spinner. Whoa. Okay. That's probably the pick, but I don't know if I can fit it in here. We're really green-blue, splash a little red, splash a little black. And again, this is only going to cast late because it's just the splash a little side of the deck. Another Meat Locker, or actually Beastie looks pretty good here because again, the creatures are kind of mediocre and that's actually a quite solid one at 5. I think I saw enough Meat Lockers we might wheel a different one. Maybe not, maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, fitting that in at 5. Off one of the main colors feels big. Inspector at 3 off the main colors. It's getting to be a little bit better at using Monstrous Emergence now. It's probably fine. Maybe better than Vanish. It's close. Oh, we did. Yeah, we got another Meat Locker. I'll take that over Branch Snapper. Don't think this is a Twist Reality deck. Maybe Stock Researcher, though. Just that early blocker, slow down the really aggressive decks. Gonna be a fun little pile here for sure, whatever happens with it. See, I'm so happy they're doing draft arena directs. Cause I'm over here spewing 5,000 gems a draft. I'm like, whatever, I'm drafting more Duskmourn. That's fun. I'm probably gonna go like 2-2 again. It's like, all right, whatever, let's get back in there and draft again. And sealed, it gets painful fast for me. But this, I'm having a time. I'm having a blast here. This deck is probably gonna just hit the wrong colors and absolutely flounder, but it is some spice, and it is very different from our first deck. Got 7 cards. Some combination of this stuff is what I've come to here. I feel like the deck is weak enough to run Chandelier to really make sure it doesn't mill out, because there could be games that we just don't have enough power to close out the game otherwise. We've been manifesting and bookworming and all that too long. I don't think we splash Brood Spinner in. I don't think we're great at holding up Twist Reality, again, because our mana's kind of crazy. And we've got a lot of good sorcery speed stuff to be doing that makes it harder to hold up the instant. So I'm feeling like probably cut these for sure, and 3 more cuts. I have 2 Drag to the Roots, 2 Chainsaw, Beastie Beatdown. Beatdown's just like a way better emergence, I think, for us. I might still go Bear Trap. Having removal that works regardless of our mana is nice. It's only 3 damage removal, which isn't great, but still. You can also pick it up with... oh, it's creature or land only. Okay, we can pick it up with Under the Skin, I guess. But we can do that with Chainsaw as well. We've got 2 copies of that. Yeah, no, maybe Bear Trap out. Yeah, speaking of 2 copies of Chainsaw, 2 different copies of Chainsaw. And with that thing on the board, we can kill our opponent with kind of literally anything, even like a 1-1 in the really late game. We probably don't need Chandelier. Of course, the Swarm Weaver as well, our kind of quickest win condition, if we manage to just like have that in an opener. Still feeling defensive here. I'm going to keep a Bear Trap and a Inspector. Call it like this. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. A little low on creatures, but certainly not an aggro deck. I think that's fine. 14 off Glimmerlight as well. Sure. Now, we really do need to make sure the mana base is good. So spend a little bit of time choosing all our basics and counting up what our non-basics look like and all of that stuff. Got 3 black spells. 3 red spells as well. Kind of crazy. Even numbers of those. A bunch of green. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue spells. Some of which we want double blue for Drowned Diners late. So, what do we got mana-wise? We want more green than anything else. I really want at least 8, preferably like 9 green. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green right now. Okay, that's okay for now. If I have room, I'll put another one in. Blue, we want probably at least 7. Got some double blue cards. 5, 6, 7, 8 right now. Okay, I could cut one of those for another green. Red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for our 3 red cards. They all only require a single red. And I think black, we probably want to do the same. 4 for those. So that's 2 swamp, 1 cemetery, 1 terramorphic. Yeah, that's 4 red, 4 black, 7 blue, 9 green. That sounds correct to me. Yeah, let's call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay. See how this beauty does. All right, here we are for game 1 on the play. We did it. Not on the play once last time, but we're on the play for the first game. This is a really slow deck, so we don't take huge advantage from that. The biggest advantage we get from being on the play is just slowing our opponents down a little bit, having more time to set up our stuff before they just aggro us out if they're on Boros or Azorius in this format. Boros, Azorius, and Gruul are the really scary ones for us. They are on blue. There's the Swarm Weaver. Any land in the deck gets us a turn 4 Swarm Weaver. if we hit it in time. If I draw it on turn 4 and it's a tap land, we don't get the Swarm Weaver, but if we hit it turn 3, doesn't matter what land it is. All right, let's just peep the creep, right? Here you go, Creeping Peeper. Peep this meat from the meat locker. Cool. They could have the counterspell here. Double blue and 1 up. They cast nothing turn 3. I think we have to play around that when they cast nothing. Yeah, they have an instant. And the counterspell in this format, double blue and 1, does have a Manifest Dread ability. So it would be holding for them if it's that card. I really don't have good bait for that. If I had enough to unlock Drowned Diner, I'd certainly do that this turn because they can't counter that. But yeah, whatever I cast is just going to get countered here, and they're all pretty important cards. I think Thresher's the least important. It's not the counterspell. All right. Thresher might be the least important, but it's still good enough to be pretty excited that it resolved. There's their own Thresher, sure. I do like slamming my opponent's face for 5 a turn ASAP. I like resolving a Swarm Weaver while they're tapped out too, but they definitely didn't have the counterspell. They certainly would have hit Thresher over doing nothing with their 3 mana. Don't have to get aggressive in this deck, I think. I'm just going to run Swarm Weaver out and pass. Save Drag to the Roots. There's some super horrifying bombs in this format. If they just like drop an Overlord or something, still having the drag as a backup is nice. I already have the block for the Thresher. Unable to scream, sure. Let's work towards Delirium with Swarm Weaver. And then I have Death Touching Insects to block the Thresher with. They don't have Delirium yet either, so we don't worry about them getting any value. Just put an artifact on a creature in my grave, cast a Manifest Dread. That's a sorcery. If I mill a land, if I mill almost any card off Manifest Dread, we'll be at Delirium and we can just Death Touch block. Wow. The mirrorest of mirror matches. I can cast Drag to the Roots and crack a Terramorphic and be at Delirium here. Part of what makes Swarm Weaver so brutal is that it's good whether or not I kill it with Drag to the Roots. It's in Golgari, so they can have ways to pick it back up, like say its name, Under the Skin, all that stuff. I almost don't want to drag to the roots the Swarm Weaver. Which means a drag on Thresher. Probably shouldn't do it while they're tapped out. Like, I'm thinking about doing it while they're tapped out so they can't have a counterspell. But again, if they had one in the opener, they would have used it earlier. And if I drag right now, I can't, like, surprise Delirium then. I mean, I thought so long that the Delirium would not really be surprised at this point regardless, but you never know. Maybe they'll attack into surprise Delirium and have a bad time. Unless we both get Delirium at the same time, that would be pretty funny. Okay, opponent does not care about Graveyard Recursion. They're just going to drag our Swarm Weaver immediately. Yeah, that means we can't get any Death Touch anyway at this point. Okay. If I drag the Thresher, Swarm Weaver's Delirium is going. I drag the Swarm Weaver, Thresher's Delirium is going. Either way is pretty dang bad. Especially since I don't have the Death Touch blockers left over. This draws them a card every turn, but this has 6 power on the board. A lot of the flying power is all Death Touch too. I think I'm getting rid of the card draw. It's not fun. Down to 18. Peculiar Lighthouse. If I hit an untapped source, I can Diner plus Manifest here. Feels pretty big because I need to be digging right now. I need 9 mana up next turn to Beastie plus threats. 4, 5, 6, 7. I can have 8 mana up. I can't have 9 next turn regardless. So we just cast one of them and play a tap land next turn? Sure. I don't have any way to pick up a manifested card in this deck. So take a card I can turn into a 3/3. Alright, they only got 2 cards left in their hand. So currently it looks like if I draw any of the 2 chainsaws or the bear trap, or the other drag to the roots, or the other meat locker, we're in a decent spot. That's a lot of outs. I don't mind this. I do have a lot of time to draw stuff if I just take all the trades on board. 4 damage out there for them, sure. It really depends on their follow-up. Like if they've got a 7/6 trample or an overlord or something, then rip either way. They do have the 7/6 trample. We hit the Glimmerlight, so I can Beastie Glimmerlight pass. Most stats I can put down. And that actually gives me a shot at double blocking Branch Snapper. Terramorphic from opponent. They've only got 1 card left. Otherwise, they're all on board. Got a lot of very live draws here. We might just be taking 2 a turn now. Nope, they will send in Branch Snapper. Fair. Manifest. Some rough manifest hits. I want to mill the lands, not the spells. Again, it doesn't matter. Unless they bounce it back to our hand or something. A long neck. That doesn't do much. We can trade with that easily. Alright. They're out of cards. We have a little bit of time. And a lot of powerful spells. Oh, an Analyst helps a lot. I do need to not mill out. Maybe I should have put Chandelier in here. I don't know. I still felt like, again, we have like double Chainsaw. I feel like those can end the game before we end up milling basically every time. Manifest the Cemetery, draw the Chainsaw. Beautiful. Chainsaw the Swarm Weaver. I'm only worried about a 1/1 flyer now. And I have the Chainsaw to start equipping things with. That is huge. I even get to attack here because I've got another 2/2 to block with. Let's go. Feel like we're in this game now for sure. They're playing completely off the top. And their first draw is immediately a draw 2. Plus a 1/1. Not great. Not great. But we still got that Analyst. We still got some crazy stuff going on. Okay, the draw 2 hits a Manifest Dread. And that's it. Okay, there's the Bear Trap as well. I got a ton of mana over here. I only need 4 to use the Bear Traps. So we get moving everything around, getting attacks in here. Get a trade. I would like a trade with the chainsaw on the board. They do not go for the trade. They're not in red to worry about chainsaws or scorching dragonfires or anything. I could still equip Analyst with the +1/+1 to play around a bear trap, I guess. But that's the only card that would care about specifically killing 3 toughness stuff. Here. Well, apparently the manifest was great for our opponent, and that is really bad for me. Let's see. Yep. Wow. That's devastating. I mean, that's nearly lethal right now. That's 9 damage. Disgusting. I technically shouldn't have revealed this till after combat damage. God, we got them empty-handed and they glimmer burst into Manifest Branch Snapper. Such is the way. I have exactly 1 more turn now to find a way to not die to this flyer. If I attack with my face down, I'm dead to any removal as well. So I feel like I have to not do that. Pass. I got 1 turn to find a way to deal with the final 1/1 flyer. Underwater tunnel. Yeah, that branch snapper was just so much damage here. I suppose earlier we could have chainsawed the 1/1 flyer instead of the swarm weave. That might have helped. But at the time I was playing with like 15 life of breathing room. Maybe not like 15, but a decent chunk to not care too much about the 1/1 flyers. That huge trample that came in that really made that matter a ton here. They got the +2/+2 trample trick. They got me either way because they could just put it on the flyer, so we just single block. Final draw step. Come on, top deck. I got a lot of outs here. I got another chainsaw. I got a windbreaker. I got an under the skin. I got a drag to the roots. I got a meat locker. Conductive machete is not one of those outs. Dang, I think I listed like 4 out of 12, like a 33% chance. I guess Analyst makes this able to draw into it. I need black up for drag. I need a red up for a chainsaw. I don't need double green for anything I would draw into. Okay. 1 final spin here. That's the spell, so manifest the land, draw the drag to the roots. Block the I think I still grabbed the land so that I'm just drawing literally all spells. Block the branch snapper with everybody. I guess they only kill Inspector if they... Shoot, is this equip 3? No, it's equip 4, so I couldn't move that over and still hold up drag to the roots, so I did not miss that. Almost did. Yeah, they can't kill Inspector unless they block with Branch Snapper, in which case they're not attacking with Branch Snapper and we're fine. They're playing off the top, and I can kill the flyer, and then I have such insane counterattacks and tons of spells in the deck. I still have most of my non-basic lands. There's still like 3 lands, I think, out of 8. Which isn't great odds here. It's a weighted coin flip in our favor. 5 spells, 3 lands, I think. Okay, they can force the drag to the roots. Oh, I probably should have played around Counterspell here just in case. Actually. Their top deck is an Overlord. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I got the chainsaw, I got the other bear trap. Or not a bear trap. Meat locker. I did hit the chainsaw for the Overlord. This game is so dumb. Duskmourn is stupid. They can't kill it with the 3/3. And if they kill it with Branch Snapper, I just block the other card, unless they have another Trampler under that. I really only need... No, I don't think I can move the machete over too. Because I need to be able to move my +1/+1 to the face down to have a 4/4 blocker up if they do trade here. So I have something big enough to block that if it's not a good manifest. Oh, sweet Jesus, please don't be another flyer or trampler. This trade makes me feel like that's another flyer or trampler under there, and then we're just dead. Straight daubers, dude. Don't do it to me. Do I chainsaw Analyst instead? So I'm likely to kill this even if they have a removal spell? Because then they could go like a removal spell there and then I chomp and then we're in a really bad spot. I guess. Don't do it. Don't flip the face down. Do not flip the face down. Oh my god, it's a piranha fly! There's a new flyer, there's a meat locker. I have 6 cards left. I can't get toughness high enough to attack this beastie. No, I have to draw 3 with this few cards in my deck. I just have to draw Windbreaker, send in this guy, and get a one-shot kill. That's like the only out now. I gotta mill my whole deck. I got 6 cards left, but 1 is a Windbreaker, and Windbreaker is just, yeah, slap both chainsaws, slap the Windbreaker on, and go. No black spells left. So tap out a black for Meat Locker on Piranha Fly. Double blue. Colors do I need up? I have a green blue, a blue and 2 card, and a green and 2. So keep the blue up for sure. Oh boy. That's not the card. You may draw a card. So I may use Bookworm. I don't have to use Bookworm. Okay, I need to play another creature, so come on out, Bookworm. I did not play a face down or flip something up, so if I use Bookworm, I'm just milling. So I'm going to not use Bookworm. And one of these 3 cards is Windbreaker. They're at 16, 8, 9, 10 extra power. I can't one-shot them, so it needs to not be the bottom card. I have to draw it like right now and do 2 Windbreaker attacks. Oh no, it manifests though. Oh, it's too low in the deck. It manifests the other 2 cards and I'm out of cards. Ooh, unless they do that. My blocks are rough though now. But what was this face down? It's a forest. Okay, go to the bottom. Okay, now if Windbreaker's the top card, I can win. Barely. Actually, no. No, I can't. Because I can't not lose both these creatures here. And then if I just play 1 blocker, they have 2 attackers. God dang. Well, we got like Swarm Weavered and Overlord, and this was still real close. Bummer. Yeah, there's no way to have a creature left at that point. And now there's no outs. Might as well be the land, right, guys? 0-1, heading into game 2. All right, here we are for game number 2. Very solid opening hand here. We don't have the red for Chainsaw, but we've got the mana for everything else. We got the Chainsaw Windbreaker combo. This time, Windbreaker's not in the bottom 3, so we can win a long game. Let's go Orzhov here, starting with Innocuous Rat. I think that's aggressive enough to manifest Dread first over Say Its Name. No attacks. Okay. Really defensive from our opponent, because they could have Indestructible ratted in. Say Its Name into red or just play Inspector? Just play Inspector. I'm going to play to the board here. A lot early against this color pair. They're theoretically a Reanimator deck, but there's not like a ton of incredible Reanimator cards. I'll probably cast Say Its Name next turn and pick up a land. So I think I ditch Shack so that I can cast Say Its Name and maybe find the red next turn. And if I can't find the red, I just pick up the Shack and play it. Okay. If I naturally draw land for turn still, I can Windbreaker the Inspector to be bigger and still play land for turn. It's not bad. I guess I probably should have put Enchantment Engraved. They're not on blue. They're not going to bounce this back and let me recast it or anything. Split Skin Doll, draw a card. I'm happy with the roadblock we've set up here. Buying us time. Yeah, it's just super aggressive Orzhov, tons of little creatures. Let's say its name. How do we land, sorcery, and whatever that mills? Might hit Delirium for drag to the roots, so I think I tap out a blue. That is an enchantment and a creature. If I don't pick up Analyst, then I have Delirium. But Analyst is a great card in this deck. I have no more Manifest in my hand, but over time that's going to be sick. But having immediate access to Drag to the Roots is also quite sick. How? I'm gonna go for immediate Drag to the Roots. Because they have a lot of creatures out here, and I would just be fully tapping out all my removal to pick up an Analyst that I can't even cast till next turn, that doesn't even have any Manifest cards yet. This is a much safer play, but it is weaker if the game goes really long. And we already are super stable. But I think there's a lot of cards that can make us pretty not stable. I'd like to be able to blow up. Yeah, we're just taking 4 here, right? Oh, I was wrong about Hardened Escort. It's not like the red one. It's been too long since I played the format. the red one, no matter who attacks, you get the buff. The escort has to be the one attacking to get that buff. Interesting. Just put Windbreaker on Inspector, honestly. Let's go to our turn. Machete. Okay, I can move Windbreaker and still have drag to the roots up. Pretty gross. That's why we hold up all the drags. We don't get our +1/+1 counter back, we don't get our flying back, but this will still be good. We'll take a little bit of a hit this turn, but kill a bunch of stuff. Everybody discards a card. Oh, they both go back to hand, not board. Shoot, that's not as good as I thought it would be for me. Take an extra hit to not have to deal with escort. 8 damage, go to 7. Kind of rough. But I have 1/2/2 blocker left. I can play Inspector plus drag on 2 other threats. Yeah. I'm gonna like discard Chainsaw and then just draw the red. Stick Twister is bad for me once they hit Delirium, and they are close. And the need for Delirium, an instant or a sorcery? Yeah, that's gonna be pretty easy to happen soon enough. Block 3 things, take like 3 damage right now. Pain in my soul currently. I think it's Glimmerlight, Windbreaker up the Inspector. Jam. Less time to top deck into something good. Actually start chipping some damage in. It's really close. There's like nothing good to Meat Locker right now, so it's like that or Machete here. Okay, Possessed Goat. Oh no, Combat Trick me. Combat Trick, mega bad no matter what I do here. Because I can only play 1 blocker that turn at all, no matter how I rolled it out. I could play a blocker and stun 1 card. That was the thing I could do. Okay, well that looked reasonable to me. Now I gotta stun the goat. I sadly don't have the mana to do more than 1 thing here. And I've got the 4/3 to block the 4/4 goat. Four, 3, and a 4/5. Actually. Okay, they make it a 4/4 and they're playing off the top. Got a good board. But all they need is like a removal spell and we go to 1. Jam the rat, go for the manifest here. Sure. We're looking for a flyer or something. Can meat locker that. Have the 4 up to flip up. Get 1 extra toughness and have a 4/4 there. They're down to 9. It's 2 swings of flying lethal with the machete moved. On 1 of the 2 swings. Another rat. We flip. Oh, I forgot I would have gotten 1 more damage there. Same number of swings to kill them. Still. Can Under the Skin back a permanent. I have 4 mana up for whatever permanent I pick up. I don't have red for Chainsaw. This would be like another Meat Locker or a Wicker Folk here. This is also manifesting a creature onto the board to buff that one thing. Could pick up the red source, but it's got to just be like Thresher. Or Threats around every corner is also really good. I actually do that. And then I still get the red source and buff. Yep. If they don't kill me next turn, they're pretty dead. I was getting real sketchy there, but Manifest Soup manages to take it on that one, and we are 1-1 heading into game 3. Here we are on the draw again for game number 3. This is a solid opener. We got Manifest Dread into Under the Skin. If I want to just curve out creatures on the board. But I'll probably be playing Moldering Gym on turn 3. Work on the mana base here. We only have green and black right now, and now we have green, black, blue. Let's go. Have all the colors after a Moldering Gym. Playing against blue-white, really aggressive deck. Oh, well, now I already have all the colors. Cool. Moldering Gym still also lets me ramp into Beastie a turn earlier. Ooh. That's a really nice one to flip up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let them get the damage in this turn, I think. Take 2. You got me. Down to 18. Fear of Isolation, pick up Glimmerlight. That is disgusting. Got the removal for the Fear of Isolation soon. But not yet. Another blue source off Moldering Gem. Ramp into double spelling soon. Now I've got double blue if we hit the Drown Diners. Down to 14. Also a Bear Trap to kill the Fear of Isolation while they're tapped out. That cost me 4 mana, though. I could just play Beastie and stop the ground troops still. Take 3 in the sky this turn, still at 11. Feels like the line. I think if they have removal for Beastie at this point, I'm going to have to just trade the face down. Well, if it exiles... Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, Rick. Shards you control become copies of it. Okay, so their whole board just becomes Fear of Isolations and we die. They hit for 2 extra flying damage. Well, this one's no longer on the board. My god, that is just... It's just horrendous. I have to blow that up first now, I think. Drag that and still play a Researcher this turn. Oh, I guess I can't actually Bear Trap Fear now that Glimmer Light's on it, but... Certainly can't beat Nico, so I guess we gotta find another way to kill the flyer. Unless I could have a million mana and Bear Trap Under the Skin Bear Trap. All in one turn. Ah, more flyers. That also dodge the Bear Trap. Well, I think you got me, opponent. Hold up red for Chainsaw if we find it off of the Analyst. I think we're cooked. Just can't deal with all these flyers. I mean, I could have had more time to deal with them if there wasn't also a Nico that had to be killed. Nico's another one that's like really gross because it's like even if you deal with it, they're just up 2 cards off the shard tokens. But if you don't, like we're just getting haste killed by these shard tokens off that Fear of Falling, we take 8. I guess they don't have the mana to play that and do the exile, but yeah, they could hit us with 2 shard token Fear of Fallings instead of just the 1 actual one. If I spent removal on Fear of Isolation there. There's Glimmerlight for lethal. Cool. 8 in the sky and we're super dead. Well, that's a bummer of a run. I think that's more of a bummer than our first one, because this deck was pretty fun and pretty spicy. And I think it could have done decently. We just got some rough matchups for it. Yeah. Just play against a bunch of flyers. Do not draw the cheap removal in time. And that's super dead. Simple game of Magic there. And then there was that mirror match, our first loss. That was the one that was really, really, really disappointing. Because, I mean, they played like an Overlord, a Swarm Weaver of their own. Just insane bombs all over. As we attempt to do with our deck. And we could have killed him if we just had Windbreaker earlier. But because it was in the bottom 3, no matter what, we were losing that game. Even if they didn't, like, kill something. To find the onboard lethal like they did. Windbreaker was just so deep into the deck that it's like, okay, I draw it and then I'm completely out of cards. So I would have to have immediate lethal with Windbreaker and the Chainsaws, and I didn't quite have that there in that game. Yeah, this was a fun deck. This was a goofy draft. I think it certainly was looking like a train wreck earlier, but I think this is a very reasonable build. Now that we did, scoop up all that fixing plus the gym and stuff, like just green, blue at the core, splash red, splash black, ended up being pretty reasonable. I don't think the mana was ever a super massive issue. I mean, we didn't get to chainsaw in one of those games, but we still had to cast like everything else. I think this was a really reasonable, pretty powerful deck that could have got a better run, but it just did not line up super well for us today. Part of playing Magic, that is going to be a 1 and 2 for this Arena Direct. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.